What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Legitical Response. I cover political news, and what I'm covering today is something that Kamala Harris is trying to do. We're going to talk about the economy. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff, folks. But if I could get you guys to do me a big favor right quick. YouTube tries to keep me into a box. They want to keep my channel suppressed, as a matter of fact. So if I could get you guys to do me a big, huge, large, giant favor, smash that like button for me. It really helps with the algorithm like you wouldn't believe. If you're new around here, I would love to see you a lot more around here. So smash that subscribe button for me. If you don't mind, turn on your notifications if you want to stay up to date, because YouTube isn't just going to post my video in your feed. I know that's probably how you found me, but I hear this from a lot of people all the time, that they watch my videos all the time and they got to come search for my videos to see them. So that's YouTube doing that, as a matter of fact. So hit that notification bell if you don't mind. It really helps. And share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. That is the biggest driver of growth for this channel. Sharing the videos, leaving a comment, because I love hearing from you guys. I love to hear y'all's opinions. My opinions sometimes change based upon information that I get from the viewers. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But smash that like button, subscribe, share the video, do all that good stuff for me. Let's get into the news right quick. Check this out, y'all. Harris floats forgivable $20,000 loan to black entrepreneurs. That's right. So she's coming in talking about wanting to do something for the black community. Why is this? I wonder why that could be. We've got Obama getting out there and scorning black men. All saying, oh, well, you're just a misogynist. Forgetting that, hang on, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote in 2016. So they're lying to you once again, trying to make you feel bad, trying to make you think that you're a misogynist if you don't vote for Kamala Harris. What does that tell you about the tactics they're using to try to get you to vote for Kamala Harris? They're ignoring the elephant in the room, that Kamala Harris has a communication problem. She can't speak. She speaks in circles, right? She'll start talking about ambitions when asked about the border. She'll start talking about, oh, my opportunity economy when asked about anything. It's like she doesn't answer questions, right? To be a good leader, to be a good communicator, you need to speak clearly and concisely, right? If she would come out when asked about the border, if she would come out and say, look, we have a broken immigration system, and yes, we've allowed a lot of people to come in. Those people want to be here. We need to fix our immigration system. But she doesn't do stuff like that. She just starts speaking circuitously, and it's like, what? What is she even talking about? Starts getting off into the woods on stuff. But you can't offer loans to black entrepreneurs and not everybody else. You just can't do that. That's illegal. Check this out. Vice President Kamala Harris has proposed offering forgivable loans to black entrepreneurs as she struggles to hold on to support among black men in the lead up to the election. The plan would see her offer up to 1 million loans of up to $20,000 through government partnerships with private lenders, CNBC reported. Now, if my math is correct on this, 1 million loans, $20,000, I believe that's $20 billion. Now, we've just had a situation where Alejandro Mayorkas has come out and said, we don't have enough funding for the remainder of hurricane season. And they want to send millions, if not billions of dollars to fund war. They just said they're sending $157 million to freaking Lebanon, to terrorists, as a matter of fact, and that we're having trouble getting aid to the people that need it in this country. They don't care about this country. They only care about a giant virtue signal, right? People see these actions. right? Your average everyday folks, they'll come across a political video and they'll hear somebody talking about stuff just like what I'm talking about. They don't care about you. I can't say Donald Trump would do anything different because I have no idea, to be honest with you. Now, did he do that before? We can go on that. Did he do stuff like that before? Yes, but not to the detriment of the American citizen. Not to the detriment. He didn't send money to terrorists. I can say he did not do that. As a matter of fact, Iran was broke under the Trump administration. That means terrorist organizations like Hamas, like the Houthi rebels, and like Hezbollah didn't have funding from Iran to conduct their terrorism. Right? They had a little bit of money here and there, and they shot their rockets or whatever, but they didn't do anything on the scale of what they're doing now. And why is that? Oh, because Joe Biden has released Iranian money that was confiscated by the United States under Donald Trump, has released billions and billions of dollars and just give to them. And then what do we see not long after that happens? A rash of terrorism. We see October 7th, for crying out loud. These people don't care about us. They only care about virtue signaling. That's all they care about. Do I believe this? No, I don't. This agenda is a further realization of Vice President Harris's opportunity economy, campaign co-chair Cedric Richmond said, an economy where people don't just get by, but get ahead, where black men are equipped with the tools to thrive, to buy a home, provide for our families, start a business, and build wealth. And what does that mean? What does that mean? So they're telling you they only care about the black community here. White people can just go shove it. That's what they're telling you by doing that. That is illegal, by the way. You can't offer loans like this to black people and not everybody else. That's just illegal. So what does that say about the rest of the country? These people just don't seem to get the picture that their virtue signaling, when you break it down, is not only illegal, but now you're displacing the vast majority of the population of America, right? What does that say to the white folks that still live in this country? Oh, but who cares about that? You can suffer. You are the oppressors, for crying out loud. Well, hey, your Marxism isn't going to work with me. And, you know, if you're trying to get people to vote for you, that you're going to be the leader. Leader for who? When you're telling white folks that they can go shove it, that you're going to give everything to the black community. Yeah, I don't think that's how you win votes from people. They're going to see this and they're going to be turned off. Just quite literally turned off. Just from society, from everything. They're not going to want to engage. If they're being told to sit down and shut up, your problems don't matter to us. The people that are in charge, that have the ability to fix your problems, that have the ability to give you some relief, at least, at the bare minimum. They're telling you that your problems don't matter. I don't think that's a winning strategy, and I think that's why Donald Trump is up in the polls. That's why he's up in the betting markets. That's why I think Donald Trump is going to win, because he's talking about making America great again, unleashing American energy, trying to make your bills cheaper. That's what Donald Trump is talking about. Closing off our southern border, because these people have allowed so many people into the country that it's getting outright insane. We have criminal organizations taking over apartment complex and kicking out the managers. We saw an article the other day. I talked about this. One of the managers of one of those apartment complexes taken over by Tren de Aragua was at his job and was jumped by these gang members and hospitalized severely, beaten all to hell, beaten to a pulp, in the words of the news article that I read. As a matter of fact, his boss is the one that said that he was beaten to a bloody pulp. Is that what you want? That's what the Harris campaign is telling the rest of America that you can go do. You can just be conquered by these criminal organizations that we've allowed to come into the country illegally. They came over the border illegally, then the Biden administration gives them legal protected status, and now they're here to make your life a living hell. You know, I feel bad for some of those people in Denver, the people in San Antonio, the people in New York, because I'm not sure how Texas is going to handle this. I would love to see the response. We haven't seen the response yet. But, you know, Denver, they seem to be just fine with it. Oh, it's just a handful of apartment complexes. It's just a small problem. That's what they're telling you. Your problems don't matter. That we care more about funding terrorist organizations because of the people of Lebanon. Oh, they're being oppressed by Israel, who by all means is, they're kind of not just defending themselves anymore. They're going on the offensive. They're trying to eliminate terrorist organizations. Something I thought was a good, virtuous thing that the United States of America at one point tried to do. But at the same time, we also created some of those terrorist organizations by trying to export democracy that the citizenry of those areas just didn't want. They don't want our form of governance. We can't force that on people. And I just don't agree with what's going on here. The campaign also unveiled plans to help black men gain ground in the legalized marijuana trade, among other initiatives in her opportunity agenda. Yeah, there you go. That's a great idea. But, you know, this economy is really, really not doing so well. And instead of giving black men loans for entrepreneurial issues that they may want to take care of, how about we fix some of our problems first? Because this economy, regardless of what they're telling you, is not doing good. We're going to go through a couple of headlines to ram that point home. Check this out, y'all. Walgreens planning to close 1,200 stores over the next 3 years. Check this out. Boeing to cut 17,000 jobs over the coming months, reducing workforce by 10%. Yeah, that's Boeing. These companies are shrinking. That's not a good sign for our economy. That's not a sign of a thriving economy. Look at the jobs market. It's doing great. How about that? 17,000 jobs going away. Yeah, that doesn't seem so great to me, does it? Check this out. New rule could cost small businesses $73.1 billion over 10 years. Yeah, this is a crazy, crazy rule. I read it out. It's a little bit esoteric for this video, but essentially it's forcing all these small businesses to register. And it's registered employees' personal information. I don't understand why they need to do this. Larger companies do it. They have the resources to do so, but now they're trying to force small companies to do this. This is one of those off in the corner situations that just goes to what I constantly say, what Joe Biden is doing is he's walking through the White House on his way out. He has a bucket full of grenades, and he's just walking, laughing, pulling a grenade out, pulling the pin, and tossing it behind him and destroying the White House on his way out. That's what he's doing. CVS to lay off almost 3,000 employees in effort to reduce costs. Oh, well, hang on. The stock market's doing good, though. Why are they doing this? Greedy corporations. We're going to come in and make legislation so you can't raise your prices. So you can just lay off more employees. There you go. That's a great idea. Billionaire plans to pull investments from stock market over Harris's economic policies if she wins. This is insane. Billionaire hedge fund manager John Paulson on Tuesday said that he would pull his investments from the market if Vice President Kamala Harris becomes the country's next leader in November because her economic policies would likely scare other investors. Paulson, who created the Paulson & Co. investment company, said there are big differences between between former President Donald Trump's economic policies and the policies that Harris has laid out so far. Among the major differences are raising the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28% and increasing the capital gains rate from 20% to 28%. She also wants to tax unrealized gains. So that means that, hang on, if you have any money tied up into the stock market, and if you make over a certain amount, they're going to tax you on that. That means to pay this, if you don't have the money to do this, right? Like, say you just invest all your money into the stock market and you don't keep a lot of money on your person, like liquid assets, in other words, then you're going to have to sell off some of your stocks to pay the taxes on those stocks, which eventually, over time, what does that tell you? Yeah, you're eventually, all of that investment is just going to go bye-bye. You're going to give it to the government. That's insanity, folks. I'd be very concerned if Harris is elected and pursues the tax plans and other economic plans that she articulated, Paulson told Fox Business host Liz Claman. I think if Harris was elected, I would pull my money from the market. I'd go into cash and I'd go into gold because I think the uncertainty regarding the plans they outlined would create a lot of uncertainty in the markets and likely lower markets. And that's not to speak of all of the banks that have failed. That's very, very concerning because all of the banks that have failed are backed up by the FDIC. Sorry, I had trouble spitting that out. They're backed up by the FDIC. That's terrible. That means they're insured. That they shouldn't have any problem going on, continuing with business, in other words. Check this out. And this is their rationale for this. Oh, well, the banking system, they're just moving to online stuff, right? Check this out, y'all. If you're still relying on in-person banking services, it might be time to open an online account. Soon, you may not even have a choice because they're closing branches all over the place. Check this out. That's because the nation's largest banks are shutting down branch locations in droves. Last year, 2,454 bank branches closed, according to the S&P Global Market Intelligence. As of December, the number of bank branches in the U.S. had shrunk by more than 1/5 compared to 2009. A fifth. That's nuts, y'all. More have closed since then, too. Between Bank of America, Chase, U.S. Bank, Capital One, PNC Bank, Wells Fargo, and TD Bank, another 400 have already closed in 2024. Wells Fargo leads the pack with at least 88 bank closure filings, according to the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. Republic First Bank, Philadelphia, which did business as Republic Bank, failed April 26. That was the first FDIC bank to fail since Citizens Bank of Sac City. Iowa failed in November 2023. That was the fifth FDIC bank failure of 2023, a year with some of the largest bank failures in U.S. history. Does that sound like the economy is just moving along just quite swimmingly? Yeah, if the economy's doing fine, banks aren't going to close. They deal in money, for crying out loud. They give out loans. And some of those banks that are closing those branches, those are large banks that have the resources to keep those banks open. That means those banks, they're not giving out loans. So those specific branches aren't making any money. Even though they charge people to keep money in the bank, they're still not making any money. They can't cover their overhead, so they have to close banks. That is not a sign of a good economy. That is a sign of a failing economy. The economy is the bottom has been knocked out from our economy, it seems like. And this is the result. Earlier in 2023, Silicon Valley Bank failed March 10th, followed by Signature Bank 2 days later, ending an unusual streak of more than 800 days without a bank failure. The next bank that failed was First Republic Bank on May 1st, then Heartland Tri-State Bank on July 28th. Later, in November 2023, Citizens Bank failed. So, This is the result of dumbass policy. I'm sorry to cuss. I usually don't try to cuss in these videos, but that is the result of idiotic economic policy that does nothing good for the country. And these people are seeing the warning signs all over the place. And what do? Oh, we've got to do more of what we've been doing. They're telling you that, hey, if you want another 4 years of the last 4 years, vote for Kamala Harris. Why? Why would we do that when we see all these signs of a floundering economy? We're struggling to maintain what we're doing. But they're getting out there and telling you everything's doing fine, y'all. Everything's just rosy. Look at the stock market. That only tells everybody that, okay, so the people that are invested in the stock market are doing good. Yeah, that's all that tells everybody. That doesn't speak to the bubble that has been created under the Biden administration. And what do we know about bubbles? What did we learn about bubbles in 2008? Those crash. You got to look at the totality of everything going on. With stores closing, retail stores closing, pharmacies closing. The pharmaceutical industry is one of the largest industries in the country. They should not have to be closing stores. You got pharmacies closing, banks closing, Boeing, for crying out loud, the military-industrial complex. They are closing. They are cutting jobs. We've seen nothing but cutting jobs, closing stores, small businesses going out. It's not looking good, and somebody needs to come in and turn this around. And they constantly talk about Donald Trump is going to cost the American citizen money with his tariffs. They ignore what tariffs are meant to do. I made a post on X about this earlier today. By the way, go and follow me on X. By the way, it's at LegiticalR, if you want to go look it up. But go follow me on X. I would appreciate it a lot. But I made a post about this. They don't seem to understand. Mark Cuban was talking about this. And he was basically talking about, oh, these tariffs are going to cost the American taxpayer, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what the tariffs are meant to do? They're meant to bring back manufacturing to this country. If these companies that are selling us products from overseas want to save some money, they don't want to get tariffed, build a manufacturing plant in the United States. You can save all that tariff money. You won't get tariffed anymore. But that's not the only net positive that we get from tariffs, right? The tariff is going to make the cost of those goods go up, right? So, what does that mean? That means that's telling you to go buy American. Invest in your own country. Yeah, American products are more expensive. Sure, but they're made better. So, go buy American products. That's what it tells you. What does that tell you about the person that implemented those tariffs? He wants to see America manufacturing come back to this country. I know I just that. Just screwed that all up. But he wants to bring back American manufacturing. Don't know why I'm having trouble saying that. Sorry, y'all. But he's trying to reinvest into the American economy. He's trying to boost our economy. That's what he wants to do. But what do these people want to do? They want to destroy our economy. Although I don't think they're intentionally doing it. I think it's just idiotic policy that some lame-brained economist tells them will work. But when you look at everything in totality, it hasn't been working, and I don't think it's going to work. But I'm not an economist, so don't take my word for it, y'all. But I think I've rambled on long enough on this one, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. And y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.